1, go!
Hop in late. It's half Maraca, half controller. All awesome. You can actually hear if he's like DIing and all that too, right? I do love that camera goes Knuckles, because like you can just do Knuckles stuff. Especially I think both against these characters, like I like using Spring to do stuff against recovery. I was just saying,
I'm back.
Why not? Why,
it's me, Marshall.
Why not go? Why not just go Knuckles against everybody in doubles?
They were talking about it. That's their plan for most of it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I did double Knuckles with Nerfy when he came to town because it's funny.
Nux is a really, really good dubs character.
Yeah, and yeah, Fox
like
they're both
super top tier.
and I think 2 players that know how to play doubles well, where they can just do all the cool double stuff. And I think both characters do well against the other 2, which I think matchup slants don't matter as much, but they can punish the heck out of you, right? Like, have fun with that.
The thing that the matchup slant that has the greatest effect in dubs from singles, like it still translates 1-to-1, is if a character is very good at killing another character, especially if that character is not used to dying like this. That was a kill confirm, basically. See?
Yeah, and then like both of them have strong confirms on Peach. Knuckles has like such good floaty like technology.
So good, yeah. Down throw, up smash, down throw, forward.
I was just thinking like those special like if your floaty's like don't charge it, it's like just hold it. Yeah, you can just charge it for a cool minute and then still get it.
And so that's really the matchup quirk that translates the most directly.
And so yeah, these 2.
Because characters that get edge guarded very hard by other characters, that's actually a weakness that gets mitigated by dubs. Because usually that requires dedicated time.
Right. It's like if you have like double ping, it's like, are you gonna go out there just throw a while and go back to stage? You know, it's like it's not quite worth. Versus they could just reset to neutral, either one of these guys. Oh man, what's Hammer doing off stage already? So ramen noodle grab from Penny. That's kind of wild.
Really good movement by PwrUp right there, staying away. But meanwhile, that 1v1 going great for green team as well.
I'd say her switch to Zero Suit's actually been paying off. Like already seeing, like between Kirby and Roy, and then finally something with Zero Suit. And I think just the game plan, everything like she was doing before, like just cohered in one characters. Like, oh, this makes sense. And I think that's always a nice one.
Nice SDI.
You're struggling to find the character, and finally you're like, you know, it works. And then you find the character that works for you.
Yeah, characteristics aside, they were discussing this exact team, I think. It's just the most well-rounded. It does what it needs to do.
Especially when you have like a dual main, tri-mains like Fox Knuckles. It's like, we'll just pick our characters.
Yeah,
I was getting full gel. Like, keep telling sweatpants to not play DDD. He's like, I want to play D. He's like, no.
Kill right there. Okay. Nice. Anti-air right there. Big.
Oh, edge guarding your homie.
Trying to interrupt the combo. It worked, really. It did disrupt.
Yeah, definitely a Peach strength in doubles. Just like you used to watch like Teddy for years in doubles, just doing the Peach stuff. Oh man.
Lost the float as well on the left side. Easy kill for, or no, not the float. The
you just hold it. Just blend them off stage. Oh, Cameron was trying to do the help your partner out, but got put in that position.
Edge guardable character.
Yeah, I was gonna say because the shine into fire stall is such a good like. It's almost like an option select. Like if you don't automatically grab ledge, you can just get your recovery out. So if you put in the input, you're getting.
Zero Suit gets around that and beats you every time. I'm gonna be honest. Zero Suit gets around that and beats you every single time. Because Zero Suit is so broken. Like her upbeat, her number of recovery mix-ups is higher than probably every single character in the game. You would probably take any 2 characters.
I talked to Gothi about it too. Like you can do like the fade back. You can even do like a Phantom Footstool from there, like just get shot all the way up. Like come down with there, like
take any 2 characters number of recovery mix-ups from any given position, add them together, and I bet Zero Suit has more.
Now I'm curious on the Galint numbers if she gets those.
Oh, she gets invincible ledge dash. Probably invincible grab. Like
for all the Zero Suit players
at least invincible jab.
Oh, that's one tip I took home. You're like abused Ledge Dash with Wolf. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, because if you
and now it's like relatively ironed out where I had like 80%. I was like, why? Like if you have that option from Ledge, use your good options. Like you're given a gift.
They gotta look at that. That Ledge Dash is one of those options that I would always say.
As far as holdovers from there,
you can do it every time, even if they know you're gonna do it. Because what happens is then how they try to cover what you do after.
Exactly.
Right? Because they literally cannot stop the ledge dash itself. It's that simple.
So it's either like we're speculating like go take center stage or know what you're gonna do out of your ledge dash. That's kind of you're putting the onus on the opponent.
Ledge dash sprint center is a really if your character has a good dash speed is a very strong option because the place that they have to place a hitbox is very weird for a lot of characters. In that it doesn't cover like other normal options from ledge. Most characters can't afford to put active frames in both locations or they're at least committing to covering one and then lets the other one get out free, which if your character gets speed means you get back to center.
Oh, I think it's weird that Marshall just has been going Ganon doubles for the most part.
Ganon's good at dubs. Straight up.
It's
Straight
like
up, he's good because he just kills people. You're just like, bitch. And he does actually.
Follow up.
The thing is, he actually does just take a little bit of time to edge guard. Sometimes there's just not enough time. Like, even though he is prone to getting cheesed, right? Sometimes the amount of time that it takes to cheese him is not enough. You don't have enough time. His teammate will disrupt.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You have another character in the way.
Yeah.
So it's like, good luck with that. Yeah, plus like just the. I guess it makes sense like how Marshall will just play like just throw out just big up there, you know, and just cover some space. Or yeah, just like especially like at ledge, just temperament just over and over. You can rinse and repeat, and then you're still covering ledge, so their teammate can't even
Ganon
come
suits
help.
him
You
in
know.
dubs as well because he just has a tendency to try to get the kill instead of
Yeah.
play for damage or play with teammate. And Ganon's good at all three of those, but what he's best at is get the kill.
And then playing with a player like
When you go straight for the kill, he's
Dude
good at
Zippers, like have strong follow-ups with the really good players. Like yeah, just combine those. And of course against one of our most stable teams, seeing them winning the first game against them, pretty big. Because I think that's another thing that's underrated. Like we don't see super consistent teams outside of those
Olivia
two.
players have a Ganon problem. They do.
Yeah.
It's because the way that they like to play is like movement-centric.
Oh, absolutely.
And when you're playing movement-centric, the one thing you cannot afford is to get hit with a stiff jab that just fucking disrupts you completely. And Ganon forward air, Ganon's ability to move on his own is also
just those
kinda
hitboxes that disrupt that. Exactly. And it's like once you're off rhythm, you have to find that footing and like get your rhythm back. And then for movement, it's so difficult.
You add on that the characters that they play when being edge guarded by Ganon get edge guarded very hard by Ganon.
Yeah, because JP's always going like Sheik and doubles
Sheik,
instead of Marth.
Marth, and
yeah, I was about to say
Zelda
Marth gets like
all get their
crunch
shit slapped by fucking Ganon when they're recovering because it's just Ganon has very strong hitboxes. Like his hitboxes that he edge guards with normally are strong hits, so it's very easy to just get a kill on the next hit. And then he has really large hitboxes as well that can straight up lead to a game very easily. Zelda gets hit by anything other than strong back air while DIing in or early frames up air, she's probably dead.
Yeah, and it's sending you far enough away where you can just close it on whoever's left on stage.
Marth and Sheik straight up, if they get hit one time when they're off stage by Ganon, they are dead. They are dead every single time. Almost. Like if they're at like 0, like if Ganon was like F0 and then hits them once, they probably live. But that's just because Ganon sucks at grabbing the ledge in that position.
Yeah, and I feel like Ganon gets a lot of like cheeky regrabs if you're not DIing carefully.
Yeah, it's not even
like especially with down throw.
It's not even.
Or usually it throws for positioning, and in that case, then you can just refocus your efforts on whoever you want.
It's not even cheeky. It's just that's just how he if he grabs you, he gets damage, and you have to hold that.
Right. So. You gotta know how the
You weren't supposed to get grabbed. That's your fault. Yeah, like
you lost an interaction to Ganon.
How did he? Yeah. Why are you as a man getting grabbed by Ganon?
It's like I'm not even gaslighting you. I'm asking you genuinely. I'm trying to help you.
What did he do to get that? It's like he outplayed you then. It's that simple. There's this like long-standing disagreement in ESS about what constitutes an outplay.
Like the council came together and was like, you have to meet these criteria.
No, it's just something that I said, and then one of the old heads was like, "That's not an outplay. That's just X." And I'm like, "Yeah, an outplay." Thank you. It's like, no, an outplay is like describes a flashy outplay. Yeah, that's an outplay too.
That's a style of outplay.
That's an that is an outplay as well. But you know, if they try to hit you and you shield it, that's an outplay. They got outplayed. If you threw rock and they threw paper and they threw scissors, you
they aired edge out of my combo. You were outplayed. Yeah. you thought you were continuing a combo that wasn't guaranteed, but they knew.
That's an outplay.
I see you do it a lot. People are like, "I'm gonna keep getting up there." So you're like,
yeah.
That's not guaranteed, my friend.
Yeah, you better keep that shit tight.
But it hits bad players.
Yeah, you better keep that shit tight. You better keep that shit tight.
They're bad, yeah.
You better keep that shit tight. But no, it's like that's an outplay. But the one that he took the most issue with is like if they attack and I just shield, I outplayed them, right? And he's like, that's not an outplay. But one thing that's funny though is if in order for Ganon to grab you, he has to convince you to shield. He had to outplay you. All he did was grab you when you shielded.
What's he gonna do to get in?
That's an outplay.
Yeah, it's like
Right.
he
might have had to
pressured you and
outplay
get you in a
4
position.
times.
Yeah, get you in a position that I don't feel safe getting hit. You're in shield.
He might have had to outplay you 4 times to do it.
You don't even recognize all those things that happened.
But those don't look like outplays until you string them all together. Like every single individual moment where you were outplayed felt fine until it wasn't fine. And you might only look at the 4th one, the 4th outplay, and go, that's where I got outplayed. And sometimes some people look at that 4th one, they're like, I didn't even get outplayed. But the first 2 or 3 are the most important ones because they're where Ganon's the weakest, is that he has to set you up to have that happen to you in the first place.
Yeah, the huge thing about going back and watching your own games where you're like, you have to you see the moment, but you have to go back and actually recognize everything led up to that. It's like a historical materialism. You have to this thing happened. You're like, well, this happened first.
Right.
It's like start at go.
So the conditions
when the game
conditions
says
that
go,
caused it to arrive.
Right.
Right. It's like
because it's not just happening in a vacuum. Like you're not just getting grabbed.
yeah, you didn't just shield and he didn't just grab.
You don't spawn off stage.
Arose.
Yeah, you don't spawn getting edge guarded, right? Like
Yeah.
what got you in that position?
The conditions arose such that you decided to shield and he decided to grab. Right. That's why you can even something that's kind of cool is you can start to discern intent even from misinputs.
Oh no, absolutely.
Like
if you see me shine at a shield, but I actually just spot dodge, you're like, oh, you're missing your shine at a shield, or like you're going for those too.
Yes.
So I'm gonna pressure your shield less,
pressure
or pressure it harder because you know I'm missing them. So
you got
those mix up. Yeah, you got that option.
Exactly. And so being able to see and look back at the way that something happened and get information from that is a pretty important skill. It's like
I was also doing it on the fly.
Yeah.
It's like in game because I'm at the point where I see things happen, and after the game, I'm like, oh, I process it, but then
that makes a lot of sense.
Like,
you look back and you're like, that makes sense the way that played out.
Or going back in Game Clucks, I remember playing Vish, and the first game he's like, I do not know how to play against Bateman, and he's just playing Falcon. But then game 2, I just get 4 stocks super fast. It's like,
he
why
figured it out.
He figured it all out.
It out.
It's like the last stock, he's like,
oh, he's
okay.
doing thing that I do know.
Versus
how to
you watch Otto or Teddy play somebody for the first time, and there's second stock, and they're like, I got you.
I get it. This makes sense. Yeah.
And as the player skills get higher and higher, those adaptations come into play. Then it becomes the dance versus a download.
It takes much less time, and people know the matchups already, so they come in with pre-existing information. The thing is,
refresh rates
when you have pre-existing information, you can start to learn new stuff quicker.
The multi-game conditioning.
Yep. Because there's
who's that good?
At a certain point.
I feel like you and JP are getting so in your specific when you guys play each other because you talk to guys each time you're like do these things and you're like except for next time I know what I just told you, friend.
It's not even like that. It's just like, oh, he's doing it. I'm gonna have to do something different now. I'm not setting him up to get caught on the next thing. I just have to see. Okay, he's playing this way.
You do it in an iron sharpens iron kind of way because you get him better at the matchup. Guess who's gonna get? I'm
gonna have to get better if I want to. Because I think that's the best way to play.
That's the best way to do it.
I think.
Yeah. I want everyone to get better.
Withholding info is based in a way, but it's also really grime because it just hurts you in the long term because someone's going to figure it out eventually. You're going to get figured out. And if you get figured out and you didn't figure out how to deal with getting figured out, then you're fucked.
Yeah, you can't just live off cheese forever.
You're really fucked. I mean, the only way to live off cheese forever is to keep making new ones. Like to keep making different cheeses.
Go back in the lab, make some blue.
Exactly. Something that's funny is when you have people used to matchups, used to certain interactions, multiple sets, things that they've seen a million times, they can let outplay opportunities slide past them, or they can let things that they would outplay normally work on them. The other doubles set is still going, so we're just hanging out. So, for example, a combo that Peter might do is he might overchase. Imagine Game & Watch. He up airs you to the sky, and he overchases with either up B or he tries for a pillar style combo, knocking you down with down air.
Sure.
But it could be the last up air in the string is fake. The reach for the up B might be fake. So he might try to spend a lot of time looking like he's gonna reach and faking you out so that you burn resources dodging it the way you have to. And then the next time when you settle into the rhythm of he's not going to keep going, you get hit by something fake. and then you're like, whoops. And that can be, there in some matchups, when you fall asleep, that can be really bad. That can be the I forgot can be fucking devastating.
I forgot.
I forgot is fucking brutal sometimes.
Over.
I should have got the fucking overlay ready, but you know I couldn't have
Because it's a round robin, you don't know who's coming up.
Who was gonna play? So we got GKO and 3 slug hugs today.
I was one of 2 people that has more tags than I do.
So yeah, they always have like
The rotation.
1 billion tags, so it's like it's not a rotation. It's just like I don't know if it changed since the last time.
Because feasibly you can show up to every